Monday, November 18th, and we are almost a month away from Christmas.
Jeez.
Wild. So we're here. I've seen a ton of Christmas decorations before I've even seen Thanksgiving decorations. So I guess Thanksgiving doesn't matter to people, as if it's not the GOAT with meals and whatnot. But this is episode 152 of the Chasing Points podcast. We got Sam here, Harrison here, myself here. We're back to talk some sports. The first thing we should probably talk about today is the fight of the fight that I told you guys Harrison was going to watch, and he did. And so we'll definitely get his thoughts on that. But we got our dubs, our L's, some football. We got some basketball, Beyonce, Beehive, some stuff like that. So, gentlemen, how the hell are you doing today?
I'm great. We got Thanksgiving right around the corner, which is my favorite holiday. So
Agreed.
I will not be skipping that and going
Agreed.
right into Christmas. Thanksgiving is the GOAT holiday.
Mm-hmm.
It's very ready for a few days of Thanksgiving festivities.
I just hope you don't get a certain mac and cheese.
No, we will not do that. No vegan mac and cheese.
Oh yeah, I forgot about man.
Yeah.
I
forgot about them.
Just never happened
mac
to you
and
guys.
cheese.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
He didn't
doing
forget
that.
about it. Just know that he didn't forget about it. He didn't.
Nope.
So,
Nope.
Sam,
God
how
blessed.
are you?
Hey man, I'm good. Happy Monday to you.
Yes, happy of all the Mondays. This is
Hayes,
a
how are
very-
you?
Oh shit! Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We might
We
need
did
to
it.
start this podcast over because I just got asked something I never get asked. I'm good.
That's so kind.
I'm tired. This
All
weekend.
right, that's great. Come on,
wow,
let's go.
I knew it was going to be something. There's always a hook to this shit. I'm going to finish anyway. Great. This weekend had a wedding. My girl's cousin. It was down in the Philly area. So I felt right at home going into Target and there being Pepsis with Go Birds on it. And I just wanted to buy all that and just bring it back. But then I just felt like a big dummy if I did that. So I didn't do it. But it was nice just riding around, seeing a bunch of Eagles flags waving all over the place. But thank you for asking, Harrison. I appreciate that for once.
You're welcome. You went over your allotted time, but it's fine.
I got all the time in the world. You asked me a question, I'm going to continue to go, okay? Let's get into our dubs, all right? And we got some time for that today. My dub is Sean Payton's pick, the reason why he wanted to get Russell Wilson out so he can get his quarterback, which is Bo Nix. Bo Nix yesterday threw 4 touchdowns against the Atlanta Falcons to the point that they beat up the Atlanta Falcons so bad that they had to put Michael Penix in the game and have Kirk Cousins on the sideline just staring. Bo Nix threw for 304 yards. And I want to make it very, very clear to everybody that's listening. We've talked a lot about Jaden Daniels, especially on this podcast, of how he was potentially in the MVP conversation early on. I think that's fizzled out a little bit after the 2 losses at this point in time. But to be an offensive rookie of the year, we need to start putting Bo Nix in there because they have very comparable stats. And he has absolutely been balling. And it's going to be hard for me not to going forward for the rest of this year, depending on who they play, to not pick the Broncos because they look really, really good, especially with him. He's young, he's poised, he can make all the throws, and he can also run the ball. It probably helped that he was a super senior in college. It's essentially what it felt like. To be fair, it felt like Bo Nix was in college for like 10 years.
I think we said that a couple weeks ago, and
we
I know
did.
someone called him out on the Falcons and couldn't stop him.
Anyway.
But
Well, yeah, that super senior or whatever you want to call him, he absolutely balled out. So shout out to Bo Nix and the Broncos. Harrison, do you have Jay Herbs?
I do. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Justin Herbert. Good win yesterday. He hasn't gotten like the primetime spotlight very often. And when he has, kind of the team around him has failed him. But they do have, a new lease on life this year with the new coach, and Justin Herbert is playing remarkably well. He went 17 for 36 yesterday, 297 yards, 2 touchdowns. He made, what is the stat I have? 4 completions of 20 or more yards in the air. So good plays all over the place for the Chargers. They almost collapsed a little bit against the Bengals, which the Bengals have been They are a second half team, and they do put up a lot of points in the second half. But Justin Herbert was able to kind of lead his team to victory yesterday, despite a late interception. But Chargers are kind of rolling right now. They are 7-3, right ahead of Denver, who we just talked about at 6-5. Chiefs are still 9-1. So there's still some ground to make up in the AFC West, but Justin Herbert is playing great football, and the football we expected from him. We've seen it a good amount over his career. It just hasn't resulted in the wins, but it's nice to finally see, they have a cohesive team all around him, and he's showing out.
I want to emphasize what you said. It's because he has a coach now that actually cares about him and shows how much he cares about him before every game. He also has the number one defense in the NFL right now, statistically. So Absolutely. That will help for sure. And I watched a little interview before the game last evening with, what's his name? Why can't I think of his name? The linebacker and safety. Why can't I think of their names?
Rodney
for Chargers. No. For Chargers.
Linebacker.
Khalil Mack?
Yes, and then why can't I think of the other name? No,
Derwin James, your boy.
Derwin James.
Thank you.
He's in the field. That's why you forgot about him.
I have no idea why we all blanked for that, but I know we all know who they were. But anyway, they had an interview pregame, and they talked about the confidence that Harbaugh has instilled in this team, and they said he's a crazy guy, but it just makes every player feel so relaxed and free to play, and it's a guy that knows ball. So I think that you can easily see that translate to Herbert. So shout outs to Justin Herbert, because I've been super critical of him, and now he's showing what he really, really has to do. But also, to be fair, he was balling in times. His team did let him down several times prior to this too. So
chargering was a thing for so long, and this was a game that Brandon Staley would have completely failed on Sunday night, like he has on other Sunday nights or other playoff games. And you can't give up 21 unanswered points, but they found a way to win the game and didn't even know that. I mean, they're on a 4-game winning streak. Herbert hasn't turned the ball over until yesterday in 2 months. So like that'll do it. That you came in, you knew what Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh were going to do, run the ball. But now, like in the last 4 weeks or so, have really, I don't know if that's Herbert just feeling better too, because I know he missed a lot of training camp. But yeah, this team is doing what Jim Harbaugh does when he takes over teams and changing the culture here, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Agreed.
It's kind of funny, the little role reversal yesterday. So you got, maybe it's like Bengaling now, because Joe Burrow is playing out of his mind and just can't catch a break. So
it's not great. It's not great, and we will be talking about that. Sam specifically will be talking about that. But right now, he'll be talking about the Bills. Yeah,
the Bills' big matchup in Orchard Park against the Chiefs. The undefeated Chiefs at the time, they are defeated now. Haven't lost since Christmas of last year, including the playoffs. So just a big game. These teams have met so many times in big moments. And I didn't even know this, but Allen's 4-1 in the regular season against Mahomes.
Yep.
Regular season doesn't count in the playoffs. So
don't.
I mean, Allen has, firmly put himself in the MVP conversation with Lamar here. That huge 26-yard run on 4th and 2. There was like just over 2 minutes left, and I think one of you said it in our group chat last night. Like Josh Allen's making sure that, I think it was Hayes, making sure that he seals the deal here, and that was a big thing. Remember years ago, that overtime thing, you don't let them get the ball. It's as simple as that. So, just a really good run defense in Kansas City with the Chiefs entering this game. And, James Cook had 2 touchdowns. Again, I think over 50 yards on the ground for Josh Allen. It was a big game and a big win. And, Josh alluded to this after the game. We'll see these teams again. If we're lucky, we will, because they're, these matchups don't disappoint. And it was a big game. And, now home field in the AFC is within reach for the Bills here. And, we'll see.
Two fun stats. So the Bills put up 30 points against KC, team that hasn't allowed more than 30 points since week 4 of 2022. And
Wow.
Josh Allen didn't take a single sack on 40 dropbacks since the start of the 2022 season. There have been only 2 games in which a quarterback went an entire game without being sacked by Steve Spagnuolo's Kansas City defense. So it just goes to show, Josh Allen, yes, the stats are good, good to really good, but not eye-popping. But the guy is not turning the ball over and he's not taking sacks. And there have been no negative plays for the Bills. And that offense, while without, the premier wide receiver that you would think of, Keon Coleman's been out the last 2 weeks. But without that, they're not going backwards. So, a really, really tough offense to play against.
He did turn the ball over last night, which a horrible, horrible pass, which was the first time in a while. But
first time in a while.
I will say this because, again, another person that I've been very, very critical about on the show is he has this type of determination in him this year that I have not seen in him. I lost my star wide receiver and Diggs that he left. Good thumbs up, love that. And Diggs. He left, he's gone. So now I'm sitting here. I got to prove that to be something. And, it didn't work. and then you also sit here and then you also have the Mahomes, which a lot of the reporters kept asking, like, you kept saying that this is not a big game. And he was like, nope, it's just another game, a week 11 game, downplaying it. Like, we know realistically we know the magnitude of it, but I think in his mind, he's like, to what you said, Sam. He understands this is the regular season. Yeah, cool. It's great. I can beat you in the regular season. It's a tall task anytime we beat you guys, but it doesn't mean shit, right? I need to beat you in the playoffs. You've been the thorn in my back to get to the Super Bowl. You're really the only reason that my team and myself haven't got to that point. So I get it, but I feel this different type of determination in him, and he's doing more with less. And I say that with quotes, even though I do feel Coleman is phenomenal, Shakur is phenomenal, and Amari is phenomenal. So, but that defense has also been playing absolutely out of their minds too. So
yeah, Joe Brady took over last year and in the middle of the year and started running the ball more with James Cook. And yeah, Diggs I don't remember if he was hurt or not, just was not as effective. And
he's probably just yelling on the sideline.
Well, that too, yeah. But they've used that kind of formula and balance this team out. And a lot of your criticism, Hayes, over the years and warranted is that, Josh does too much. And look, he's an incredible size, talent, he has it all. Yes. And it's again, he's keeping the ball clean, not turning it over for the most part. And they're winning football games. And it's a really dangerous combination. And it's a really hard place to play, especially in January. So, in Buffalo. So yeah, we'll see there, but yeah, big win, big conference win for the Bills here.
You want to know where it's a really hard place to play? In Guantanamo Bay. If you don't know where Guantanamo Bay is, that's where Quinyon Mitchell lives. And that's where any receiver that comes does not get more than 35 yards against Quinyon Mitchell at Guantanamo Bay. For those that don't know who the hell he is and who I'm talking about, he's the Eagles standout rookie from Toledo, their first round pick. According to PFF, only 19 cornerbacks have played 350 plus coverage snaps. Q is the only one to not surrender a touchdown. I will go even further. These are the receivers that he's played against this year: Christian Watson, Drake London, Chris Olave, Mike Evans, Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, and add Scary Terry, and none of them have had more than 35 yards when he is guarding them.
Dude, that stat's like comparable to the Revis year, right? The 09 where Revis held everyone under 35 yards, and Quinyon Mitchell's
a rookie. He's a rookie.
And
this kid
is why
is
we
ridiculous.
Were applauding your boy Howie Roseman in May for the draft he had, and what was the biggest need on this team? And I know you don't want to draft for need, but they took care of it with Mitchell and Cooper DeJean's coming into his own too. So yeah.
Cooper is a part of the exciting whites, him and Reed Blankenship.
Reed and
It
Cooper.
is
Yeah,
great. I love them. And if you think I'm just saying that, and some of you that don't know me are like, "Oh, he's being a little racy here." No, they actually wore a concert T-shirt of themselves on it, and it said "Exciting Whites" because that is a section in the wine section. So, and also being that they're two of the only white cornerbacks or DBs in the league. So, yeah, I just wanted to give Q his shine because what he's actually doing against those names is crazy. Against Scary Terry on Thursday Night Football, Scary Terry had zero completions against him, zero targets, zero touchdowns. So say what you want to say. That's I would say that's pretty good. So shout out to Q. I hope he continues this. He could be absolutely a defensive rookie of the year, and I would love to see that. So shout out to Q. Harrison, you have a guy that was a rookie of the year last year. And
rookie.
He is a fan of rookie. Yes,
yeah.
And we're a fan of his. You have Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I just want to kind of give him, a shout out for bouncing back, getting back in the starting lineup. Everyone does get right against the Jets. Like obviously, it's a team that's had its struggles defensively, but still he had to come and play the game and bounce back after his team benched him for a bit. So 20 for 30, 272 yards in the air, 1 touchdown, and then on the ground 2 touchdowns rushing, and the one that sealed the game. So
you too.
Yeah. So this is a kid.
Reed, I think.
Yeah, this is a kid that Sam had mentioned. He only played in 24 collegiate games. He's raw. He definitely raw, but has the skill set to be good, and needs the time to develop while playing, in my opinion. And that's kind of the way the league is now. And we've discussed it a whole bunch with how quarterbacks need to get out there early, need to get their reps in. There's the debate of whether they should sit or whether they should play. But, we are here now where, a quarterback needs to play and needs to get those reps to get that experience. So, it's good to see him back under center. The Joe Flacco thing has seemed to have run its course after Flacco threw up all over himself the last 2 games. And the Colts are going to go as far as Anthony Richardson does. So,
yes.
They've invested in him. Play him, and it paid dividends this weekend, albeit against the Jets. But yeah, let's see where it goes from here.
I just want to highlight a main part of that. I feel like in this era, people give up way too quickly on things that don't work, and don't let it run its course and actually try to see what it's going to be, because our jobs are on the line. We need this right now type thing. But the fact to give this young man an opportunity when you knew that you drafted him and everybody said that this was going to be a project. So it's going to be a project. Understand that and stick with them. If you understand it's going to be a project, you understand there's going to be ups and downs. This is going to be a roller coaster ride until you figure out whatever he actually is. We see he has uber talent, arm talent. He has the strength. He has the ability to run. He has pieces from probably every single one of your favorite quarterbacks that you've seen for a while. It's just, can he put it all together? And if he does, we will be talking about this kid as a potential MVP every year. But you got to give him time, and we got to really see what it's going to work out to be. But this, unfortunately, it was against Sam's Jets. And as you said, this was a get right for him. And we'll see what he can do against other competition. But I'm still pulling for the young man. Really, really am.
Yeah, you nailed it. And the front office of the Colts, we talk about Chris Ballard a lot on this podcast, and just, I personally think you guys agree with me. He's one of the better talent evaluators in this league.
Do.
And when, I don't know how much of Richardson pulling himself out of the game a couple weeks ago because he was dehydrated or tired or whatever the reason was had to do with Flacco being thrown in there for a couple games. But you're right. Like, if that didn't work, you can't draft someone like this. And Harrison, I think you cut that number in half. I think he's only had like 12 college starts or something like that. I think you said 20. I think 24. It might be 24 total starts after high school, which is insane. Like, it's just insane.
He had 4 as a freshman.
Okay.
8 as a junior and 12 as a 8 as a sophomore, 12 as a junior. Yeah.
Well, regardless, he hasn't played. He hasn't finished a lot of games either because he is a little reckless. But again, that's the talent that he has. You want him to do that. So yeah,
he is worth the risk. There's going to be more downs. Absolutely going to be more downs. But let's continue to see what he has on the field of play.
And props to Josh Downs too. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is one of the best halfbacks in the league. But Josh Downs, Pittman, Addie Mitchell, Alec Pierce, it's a really nice receiving core for this team, and Shane Steichen knows how to run an offense. So
agreed.
Future is bright for this team for sure.
Sam, you have a team that has a very bright future because they have a Hall of Fame coach still at the helm. You have the Steelers.
I have the Steelers. You guys picked the Steelers to beat the Ravens. I picked the Ravens, but again, that was a toss up. I think we could all see either team winning here. And they won by 2 here, but still Pittsburgh's defense showed up after they offense kind of bailed them out last week, but they held Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP. If the season was over right now, 3-time MVP, and the NFL's top ranked offense to a low of 16 points and 329 total yards. And he had a 48% completion percentage yesterday. So that's the first time he's ever been under 60%. And he had a season worst 66% passer rating. This defense is as good as anyone wants to say they are. And, they have these moments where, it's next man up kind of thing. And, whether it's, TJ Watt, who needs no introduction, or Minka Fitzpatrick or Patrick Queen, former Raven here. But this team's really good. And this offense is humming along too. Really big divisional game for both of these teams. And I think the Steelers are top of the division there.
They're 8-2. Baltimore's now 7-4. Drop Baltimore's chances to win the division to 37%.
Yeah, and I've been very vocal about how I was wrong about this Steelers team, and these are the wins you need to have for home field to win a division, etc. And they certainly are tested for this moment. So,
to win a game without having a touchdown, 6 field goals is impressive stuff. Russell definitely struggled a little bit yesterday, but a lot of it was due to his receivers couldn't get any separation on a tough Ravens defense, and it was kind of an old school Baltimore Pittsburgh game. The biggest praise I can give to Pittsburgh is they make teams play their style. And they dictate the game, and they dictate how it's going to go. And they have all 10 games, even in the losses. You're going to play Pittsburgh style, and you got to beat them that way. And if you can't, they're coming out with the win. So they've got the Browns, Bengals, Browns, and then Eagles up next. So they're going to continue to roll, and they'll continue to kind of take command of this division. And I don't see Baltimore catching up, as do the statistics, but you never know. But Pittsburgh, it's their division to win.
You can put an L on Baltimore's bracket already for when they face the Eagles. So that's going to make it a little bit harder for them. Speaking of a little bit harder, I'm sure it's hard for Sam to watch on Sundays, but he's used to this at this point in time, which I wish wasn't the case. Your Jets, who got rid of the wrong person, in my opinion, and I will continue to scream that, and Robert Saleh, because it wasn't, he clearly is not the issue.
I thought you were going to say Zach Wilson.
Yeah, no. That, if I did that, then Sam could cuss me out.
Okay.
And then I absolutely would not do that. Okay. No. Sam, the floor is yours.
I don't know. Was it 2 weeks ago I said I didn't want to talk about the Jets anymore? Last week? I don't know. It's all a big blur. No one put this on here, and I had no intention of talking about this team. But here we are, and it's really hard as a father to explain to a 6-year-old why the team he loves so much is so bad. Because they were losing I decided I'm not going to sit here and watch it. It's a gorgeous day. Let me go outside, and we're all outside playing and doing whatever. I come inside and game's close, and I'm like, okay, and I'm in and I'm watching. My son comes in. He's so excited that we're winning, and then he goes and does whatever. He comes back and we lose by 1, and it's just it. Like, that's it. That is the quintessential like Jet experience. And to say this has been an unmitigated disaster, the Aaron Rodgers experience is, to put it lightly, and I'm just tired of thinking about it, tired of talking about it, and probably is, from an expectation standpoint and where we are as a team and as a fandom, probably the worst ever. I'm not thinking about it too much, so I still think other moments in my brain are like, oh, this is really bad. But like, this is just like, blow it all up, man. Like, okay, yep. Like you got everything you wanted. Aaron Rodgers, I had no expectations after last year, after what happened. But okay, you got the personnel you wanted, you got the coaches you wanted, got all of this. It's not working. Good luck.
So Aaron doesn't come back next year?
Sure. I don't know where. I don't know if he.
Well, does he come back to your Jets? Is what I'm more so saying.
It's really hard to look you guys in the eyes and say, I don't want Aaron Rodgers to be my quarterback. I don't have any expectations at all. It's really hard to say that, but this is not working. This has to be part of the Aaron Rodgers resume, in my opinion. Like, if he were to have won a Super Bowl last year or this year, he would have been goated as much as Tom Brady with the Bucs and all of that. Like, look what, Aaron was right. Look what, can happen here. I think he deserves equal, like, this is equally on his shoulders for, having the worst, a worse winning percentage than the aforementioned Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold as his tenure with the Jets. Like, this team has just hit rock bottom, and it's a shame because I still think they're so freaking talented, but just can't put it together.
I honestly think a big issue, part of this, and this is my opinion, so people can agree to disagree, but I feel his interests outside of football have taken his focus away from football, but also I feel that Father Time has also caught up to him as well. You can see the decline has been a sharp decline in his productivity.
He hasn't completed a pass over 20 yards in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We scored our first touchdown since Halloween yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I would, like you said, Hayes, like, yes, he does have interests outside of football, but I think it's truly just Father Time. And our view on it has been slanted because of what a LeBron James does or what Tom Brady did.
Yep.
But more often than not, probably 95% of the time, once you hit a certain age and a certain point in your career, it's pretty much over. And we see it a lot with running backs. A lot more with running backs, and definitely there are some quarterbacks that can still hang on, but he just does not have his legs, and it's obvious. It's obvious. He can't move. He can't throw deep. It's just he can't throw off platform like he depended upon for his whole career. It's pretty over. It's pretty over.
Yeah, his pocket presence, real quick to wrap it up, has been what has made him elite for so long. Like, I say it all the time, like, he was Patrick Mahomes before Patrick Mahomes. And Pat took it to the next level and all of that. But yeah, it's just I don't really like get on him for like not being as invested. He's 40 years old. He's rolling out of bed, walking into the Hall of Fame. He's one of the premier talents that position's ever seen. But it takes 53. It takes like a commitment there. It's not a great look. So, I don't know what the Jets do. I have no idea. But
it's a good draft for quarterbacks.
Yeah, here we go again. Like
really good draft for quarterbacks.
Like you said, like we can put it all on Aaron Rodgers and the offense, but like, what happened to the defense? Like, they're 25th this year. They were a top 5 defense last year. I don't know what happened there.
You want to
somebody on that defense lost his name for me. His name is Ahmad Gardner again.
Yeah.
His name is not Sauce. I will not refer to him like that at all. That defense has just disappeared. Absolutely disappeared. Their identity is it's crazy that their identity was just lost over the offseason. Being that hard-nosed team that fought so hard even after Aaron went down with Zach. It was like, yeah, no, we're still top tier. And the argument was all we need is a quarterback. Well, it seems like you need more than that now.
And that was the expectation going in. Like, it's like, all right, we have a very good defense. All we need is a serviceable quarter. We didn't need Aaron Rodgers to be Aaron Rodgers of old, on the Packers. Just someone to facilitate and keep everyone on the same page. And that is just not happening.
No. I'm sorry,
I'm
Sam.
talking about the Jets.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Sam.
I'm done.
Fair.
Harrison, I'm saving your next L for the last L for good reason.
That's fair.
I have kickers as my L. And I'm going to highlight 4 specific kickers. Jake Elliott from my Eagles, who missed 3 on Thursday night. Justin Tucker, who I believe missed 2 big field goals yesterday. Evan McPherson missed 2 big field goals that I remember seeing, which could have had the Bengals win. But again, McPherson continues to miss. And probably the one that probably hurt the most was Cairo Santos getting blocked after Caleb balled his ass off yesterday with a new offensive coordinator, and the game was over for them with a blocked field goal attempt. It's scary when you see the likes of Jake Elliott and Justin Tucker, who are considered to be like top 5 kickers in the league, missing like this. It's even scarier seeing Justin Tucker, who has been so ice cold and considered the best kicker for so long, is definitely a guy that will be in the Hall of Fame as a kicker, and for what he's done, especially for the lengths of which he kicks field goals. These are guys that are on clutch, or teams that have potential, at least Elliott and Tucker have potential of having a deep playoff run, and they are choking earlier in the season. So they have time to obviously make up and turn this around, but it just did not. It was not a good weekend for kickers, needless to say. I'm sure plenty of people. The only kicker out of all this that his team ended up winning and it didn't affect was Jake Elliott. But the rest of them, Lord, it was not great at all. So kickers, I'm gonna need you to do better. I know it's not easy kicking. I'm not even going to begin to act and go up that go down that line of people saying, kickers aren't real athletes. Yeah, you go out there and try to kick a field goal. Let me know how that works, because it's not going to work for you if you're not a regular kicker and you don't do this professionally. So hopefully these guys can turn it around. But they stunk. They stunk on Sunday.
There, life comes at you fast.
It does. Harrison, I'll give you yours right now. Sam, you have the Jaguars, which is not surprising that they're on here.
No, I just put them on here because it's the most obvious out of the week, giving up 52 points. Yes, you have Mac Jones at quarterback. They have clearly quit on their coach. They couldn't make it any more obvious that they hate this dude. And yeah, they're cooked. They're cooked. And it looked like a college score, like 52 points. And the Lions are obviously a juggernaut, and we've talked highly of the Lions, all through this year. But man, the Jaguars freaking stink.
They do.
Yeah,
it's bad.
That's all I have.
It's really bad. Sam, just be happy you don't have the Jaguars as your team, as your favorite team.
I mean,
happy about that.
Could be worse.
Just take that. Just take that.
No, that's fine.
Just take that. Okay.
I don't know. Is it worse to not have expectations at all?
I know sometimes
I've been there too. So
yeah. You get too close. You get too close to the sun. Sometimes that's worse.
There you go.
True. Very, very true. Well, Sam, you have the Bengals, who have had in my opinion, a meteoric fall. And why do you have them on here as an L?
Can we just clip what I said last week and just drop it in here?
Sure, you
Look,
can.
I mean, we talked about it with the Chargers, 21 unanswered after starting the game pretty slow here and lose the game. Not much more. I think this offense can do. I think Joe Burrow. We talked. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but talked about it last week how dominant he has been, and Jamar Chase as well. But this team keeps losing. This team keeps giving up points, and it just seems like the Zach Taylor experience is coming to an end here. And it's I know the schedule's been tough. I know the division's tough, but it's fine for everybody else playing in that division. And some things need to change here with the Bengals. And it's a shame because a lot of really good performances here.
Yes,
with some of the players on the team, but just overall,
Jamar Chase.
I'm pretty sure they lead the league in passing yards, passing touchdowns, receiving yards, receiving touchdowns. I mean,
was just about to say,
if they flipped two of these games, like Joe Burrow would be kind of the clear MVP at this point.
Yeah.
Yes. And Jamar Chase would be a runner up because he's having a crazy season.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate because they're such a talented offense. And I think now the maximum amount of wins they can get to is 10. And that would maybe get them a playoff spot, but they play the Steelers twice and they still have they got the Steelers twice. So they are
man, it's over.
They're cooked.
Yeah,
it's over.
They're done.
It's over.
They're
it's
done.
not mathematically over, but we can start warming up the bus.
Fried, died, and laid to the side. Jamar Chase was asked what he thought would be the solution, and he said, I play football on the field. I don't call the plays for us, so I can't really do nothing.
I mean, he's
essentially
doing what
back.
he can.
Yes, he's essentially
he
pointing it back at Zach Taylor. I believe he did later on.
He said, "Ask Zach."
Quote. Yeah, he did. He says, it doesn't really matter how good I perform at the end of the day. Putting up all the numbers and losing is not good. He went on to say, that was then Joe Burrow had more to say from there. But yeah, he kind of said he essentially just alluded to the coach, like, go talk to the coach. Like, don't talk to me. I'm just out here to play the game. And you can clearly see the frustration on his face. And I can only imagine how I would feel if I was giving my all and having one of the best years that I had, to know that I'll probably just end up being in a Pro Bowl and my season will be done once the regular season's over.
Betting on himself too. He didn't take that. He didn't sign a contract. Like, he's doing his end here. And T. Higgins is a free agent at the end of the year too. I know. I mean, T. Higgins needs to be on the field, which I know
he balled last night.
Yeah, he did, and that's great. And I love T. Higgins. I am a T. Higgins fan club founder, charter member. But when he's on the field, and Chase Brown has turned, has become something, and that's great. But yeah, this defense is a mess. I can't listen to another national broadcast about how good what's his name is, the DC. Like, I can't do it anymore. Like, just no. I know the talent on this team isn't on the defense isn't what it used to be, but can we stop, please?
Yeah, just
I don't think so.
Completely lost year for them, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. You still have Burrow. You still just give Chase all the money he wants and then rebuild the defense through the draft, get rid of this coach, yada, yada, yada.
Well, we'll see if they do that. There's light at the end of this team's tunnel, but if they keep making dumb decisions like this, they're going to be out of the playoffs again before they can make it to the Super Bowl. And they're led by one particular person, John Harbaugh. I love the Harbaughs. I do love John, the older brother. But at some point, we need to start talking about him as a coach, because he has all of the pieces there. And you went out and got Derrick Henry. And yesterday, Derrick Henry only had 16 total touches. And in the fourth quarter, which is what you mainly got him for, he had 0 touches. Period. You don't go get a guy that is potentially a future Hall of Famer that can absolutely run over everybody when people are gassed, and don't give him the ball once in the fourth quarter. Lamar Jackson went up there, said, we essentially are doing this to ourselves over and over again. He pointed out the games that they continuously are losing in. At some point, it comes down to coaching. It comes down to game planning and overthinking things. You have the players. Last year, when you played the Chiefs, why don't you run the ball with Lamar Jackson when you know that's what you've been doing all year long? Why do you change all these things up? Now, I obviously understand that teams will scheme a certain way for the playoffs compared to the regular season. That's understood. But at some point, we got to look at John. I honestly feel we have to look at John. And I understand Lamar has improved every year. From what he wasn't, he's 2 MVPs, potential a third MVP on the way. He's improved every single year. But they still haven't got over the hump. And I'm pointing some of this light on John too, because I don't think enough gets put on him as they talk about Lamar more than anything. I just feel that and the offensive coordinator get together and really try to scheme this out to be to know their identity. Because I don't think they know their identity as a team offensively at this point, outside of Lamar. So,
yeah, I think they're still pretty firmly in place for a wild card spot. They have a tough schedule remaining for the Ravens. I mean, you got Chargers, Eagles, Giants, Steelers, Texans, Browns. So, they'll be able to pick up some more wins there. But yes, you do want to see them kind of round into form and use Derrick Henry to his full potential. Not really ready to write the book on Harbaugh yet. I think they've had some tough luck. And they've lost some games they would like back, so mistakes were made. But I think there's still time for them.
Yeah, when this offense is predominantly through the air, that's when they've had trouble all year. When they haven't run the ball or haven't really been effective running the ball, which really the ineffectiveness of running the ball is just physically not actually doing it, because Derrick Henry is, you want to keep counting him out, and he keeps bulldozing through everybody. He's a defensive end playing running back, and it's crazy to watch. And yeah, to not have a touch in the fourth quarter when you're playing a team like the Steelers, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm not ready to count Harbaugh out yet here.
I think you both said that you're not ready. I'm not counting him out. I'm just saying that he needs to look in the mirror and realize that he's a part of this issue too, and it needs to be highlighted as well. So I'm not counting him out. I believe he's still a phenomenal coach and probably one of the top 5 coaches in the league. But I just want to make that very clear.
Well, Todd Monken, if you're listening.
Yeah.
They also only had 2 drives in the fourth quarter. The first one was intercepted, and then the second one went 10 plays for a touchdown. So, I don't know. It was a coin flip game. Did
you see that interception?
Yes. It's completely stolen out of my guy's hands. So, yeah. So just kind of bad luck. Bad luck. They had some bad luck yesterday.
Get in the weight room, young man.
Yeah,
working
fair.
the biceps.
Fair enough.
We saw a couple of people in the weight room leading up to a particular fight that happened on Friday evening, and it is the Tyson Jake Paul fight. We had Harrison on here say that over and over again that he wasn't going to watch it, and I said over and over again that he would watch it. And lo and behold, he watched it. Harrison, what are your thoughts? Because you have this as an L here.
Am I the only idiot in here that watched this? Did you guys watch it?
No, I watched it. I watched it for a certain portion.
I am ashamed of myself. I knew what this was. I knew what it was going to be, and still I turned it on. Why did I do this? I've racked my brain for 48 hours to think of a reason of why I did this, and I can only come back to blaming you both. Both Both
This
of
is
you
our
are at
fault.
fault for this, and I'm angry. I'm
Sam,
incensed. And this
did we
was
put the remote in his hand?
60 million people, according to Netflix, stream this.
all
Yes.
of us are
60
idiots.
million.
We are. We are.
I mean, look, it's where our country is at the moment.
Well,
We don't want to get
that's-
political.
If this
But-
is a microcosm of where the country's at, it's
Yeah, pretty much.
it's pretty
spot
dead
on.
on.
Pretty,
Yeah.
But this was an absolute disgrace. An absolute disgrace, and I am a part of it, and I am culpable, and I'm blaming you both for it. And that's all I have. Just a disaster. I hated every moment of it. I hated every moment I watched it. I hated myself afterwards. I felt dirty. And for that, we have taken one of my L's that's reserved for the NFL and put it on this because it was that disgusting and bad.
First off, let's not do this we thing because Sam and I did not do a damn thing with your pick. You did this. Number two, this is not Sam and I's fault because we weren't at your household. We didn't tell you to flip it on at that point in time.
I thought we were having a party.
Yeah.
I thought we were having a party.
Nope, I told it was going to happen, and I knew it was going to happen because it is just a train wreck that you know that you shouldn't watch, but you're just going to watch because everybody and their mother, your whole timeline, you knew what was going to happen. Your whole timeline the next day was going to be completely that. Harrison tried to avoid, he did. He tried to, at least from what we believe.
I did.
Or what he told us. He did not open anything that we sent about this fight.
I did not.
But I still knew in my heart of hearts that you were going to watch it. And you did. And for me, that is the only dub that I needed this whole entire week. So everything on here, no matter what it is, that is a dub for me because you got to watch that train wreck that we all knew it was going to be. But the real winners here are Mike Tyson and Jake Paul's pockets because they got paid millions of dollars. The real loser here, outside of our minds and our eyes, is Netflix for streaming to 60 million people and people having just a spinning wheel. I know some people were like, well, stop being poor and broke and have better internet. Yeah, no, a lot of people have fiber optic and it still was doing that. So I was watching it in a hotel, so it was bad.
I wish it would have froze. I wish it would have froze for me. That's what I wish.
There's so many other things like the hot dog thing. Okay, that was stupid.
Sure.
We knew what that was going to be. Like, were they this was trying to be legit because like the commentator, like that was garbage. Like a lot of the other stuff was just like garbage. I know this is a curiosity thing, but
let me ask you: have either of you ever watched the Jake Paul event prior to this?
No.
And that was going to be my next question. Okay.
This is what all of them look like.
Okay. I will never watch it. I will never watch again. It's a complete farce.
I was thinking about this before the fight happened and before, and again, I knew this was stupid. I think we can all say that, but I was going to watch. It's Mike Tyson, but like here's Jake Paul. Like, does he want to be like a legitimate boxer? Because like,
no.
And I get it if like it's just entertainment and he's lining his pockets and it's great. And he is certainly a showman in that regard. And I'm sure he could have any fight that he wants. But like, this was a lose-lose for him. If Mike Tyson loses, which he did. He's a senior citizen who in his prime was one of the most lethal human beings in history. Like, so like, okay, Jake Paul, congrats, bro. You beat up a senior citizen, or you could have lost to a senior citizen. Like, so like now what do you do? Like, you didn't knock him out. You didn't knock the 58-year-old out. You're not like the baddest man on the planet,
I think you're looking at this all wrong because you're saying it's a lose-lose for Jake Paul. It's been progressively a win-win for him since he started doing this.
I understand.
He continues to make this money. He continues to get people that probably shouldn't be fighting to fight against him. And he continues to get millions and millions of people watching this, no matter who he is fighting. But what he started this out to be, which was to throw jabs at boxing and also UFC. He hates Dana White. So he's been recruiting UFC fighters, even though they were washed or retired, to try to do this and say, hey, I can get you more money than Dana can get you, just to like throw it in Dana's face. It was also an assault, a way to throw a jab at boxing because, as we know, boxing's not what it once was. There's too many promotions, all these lines being crossed. So What he started it out to be was that, but Jake just has a very punchable face, and he's just a huge troll. So that falls to the wayside anytime you watch it, anytime he opens his mouth. So that's where he really loses to me. But all in all, he gets a ton of people to watch, and he's gonna get more people to watch depending who he fights next.
I would say yes, that is very accurate of what he is and what he's done. I think with this one, he's jumped the shark. I mean, where else do you go from here? Like you got
Conor McGregor.
That's not Mike Tyson. Like Mike Tyson is,
I think that a lot of that too is that there isn't like the boxing landscape is certainly not as. I mean, there are, and I'm not as well versed as I know, like you guys may be, or I know Harrison is, but like that, there isn't a like, who's he going to fight? Like,
but that's what I'm saying now. Like, I think you got the biggest name possible, and it was an absolute complete farce. Like, it's not even, there was no chance Mike Tyson was winning that. They were both clearly in the bag. Like, Mike Tyson was not fighting to win, nor could he. And neither was Jake Paul. It was clearly an exhibition that garnered millions and millions of dollars. But now at this point, like, what's next? Because I know for me personally, I will like truly never watch another Jake Paul fight again.
You don't need
to. because I have seen what this is, and he used the biggest platform and biggest name he possibly could to get that, and he did. But now I ask, like, okay, who's next to fight? Because he's only fought retired boxers and crappy UFC stars.
You ready for this? I'll give you all the names. I'll give you you some of them right now.
And I'll tell you if I'll watch. Yeah.
You're not going to watch no matter what, but it's not for you.
You could surprise me. You could surprise me.
So his brother fought Logan. His brother Logan fought Floyd Mayweather, and that was a huge event too. So he has Floyd potentially to fight because Floyd is still actively fighting, and people want to see Floyd. People want to just see people tune in. It's the same thing what people did when Floyd was in his prime. Obviously, we know Floyd is a real boxer. But people always tuned in to watch Floyd because they wanted to see Floyd get what? Knocked out. People tune in because they want to see Jake get knocked out. He hasn't fought anybody valid. Again, he fought somebody that just basically rolled out of senior citizen home, basically washed UFC fighters and no-name boxers that basically went back to working, being a janitor the next week, right? So he hasn't fought anybody like that. Conor is still active. Conor had one of the biggest fights in one of these celebrity things with Floyd. That will be another one because Conor and him have been going back and forth for years, building that up. But also, what is going to really be it is if he actually fights a legit boxer, because people will tune in because they know this is the true opportunity of watching this kid get knocked out.
Yeah, like Tyson Fury or something. I'd love to see him get knocked out.
He'll never do that. Yeah, he'll never do that. Yeah,
he will. I'm telling you, he's going to. He's going to, and it's not going to be good. But that's when he's going to do that when he knows that this is like running dry, where it's like, okay, this is it. This is my last one. Like, if I do this and I can really turn legit boxing because he says he wants to do that, whatever. But once the well starts to get dry, I believe that will be the next real thing is I can fight a real boxer now. And then if I lose, then I can turn around and say, well, I'm not a real boxer. I'm not a legit boxer. He is. And then go from there. You got to understand that this young man is from Troll Nation. Like this is the ambassador of trolls. So no matter what he does, he's not losing anything.
I get it. You got me once. Never again.
He won't get you again. Well, you know what? He got too much of our podcast. So let's move on. Power rankings. This has changed a bit for me this week. At number 5, we have the Steelers, who continuously keep winning, as we've already mentioned. At 4, the Eagles stay there. I think that unless I change that, that stayed there. At 3, the Chiefs have moved from 1 to 3 for me. And not just because they lost to the Bills, but I've watched that offense, and that offense does not look. Their defense has been holding them up most of the season. That offensive line cannot protect Mahomes, and they need to fix that somehow, some way. And I don't know if that's possible to do. But again, I obviously know, as we know on here collectively, it's still Patrick Mahomes, and he's a different beast in the playoffs. But as of right now, got to drop him down. Bills 2. Sam made sure to text me, are the Bills in this? And yes, Sam, they've moved up to 2 because of how they played and how Josh Allen has played. He's been lights out, and this team around him, this young team has rallied around him, and he's actually showing his true leadership, and I value it a lot. And then the Lions, who I believe right now are currently the best team in football, and they continuously show that. I'm not even including the beating of the Jags because it's just the Jags. But in general, every team that they play, the fact that there is a curse kind of going on right now that after you play the Lions, you lose the following week because you put so much effort in. It continues to be a thing. It won't matter for the Jags because they're going to lose anyway.
That'll be no problem for them.
We already know about that one. But losing one of the best defensive players in the league and one of the heartbeats of their team and continuously still doing what they do, have one of the best receivers, so on and so forth. I think this is they're just showing who they are. So that is my power ranking. Gentlemen's thoughts before we get to Harrison's power list rankings.
Yeah, you've been wanting to move the Lions up for a few weeks now, so I think you finally got your opportunity. And yeah, the Chiefs have some issues, but obviously still one of the top 5 teams in the league. And then I've been pining for the Bills for a while, so I'm glad to see them up there.
They're up there. I gotta watch and see how certain pieces move.
It's fair.
You know, and now it's like it's fitting where it needs to fit.
A holistic approach for Hayes.
You know, trying to be respectful.
A lot of meditation.
Kick rocks, Sam. Kick rocks. Harrison, your power list rankings. All these teams need meditation and probably more than that, a whole handle of alcohol. So,
yeah, I'm pretty tired of all these teams. Panthers were on a bye, so they get to stay at 28, still with the largest point differential in the league at minus 143. Browns took another L, lost to the Saints. Jameis almost threw for 400 yards because they were down the whole game, but minus 86. Raiders minus 98. Giants minus 66, and the Jaguars and Giants flip spots there because the Jaguars are the first 9-loss team. So, yeah, good job by them.
Shout outs to Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
Paisan's out here again. We get to get it going. Sam's cousin, so he'll be happy about it.
I'll see him at Thanksgiving. So
you should. I know you will. Give him a shout for me. We have our records after this, and again, your boy is sitting at the top. I'm 11-2 this week. Sam would be 10-3, and Harrison, because he continues to be a risk taker, is 9-4 because he said he has to cover some ground here.
Not working out for me.
It's not at all. I got 107 and 53 losses, and I'm only one behind Sam. I'm on your ass.
I gotta say, after like the first 3 weeks, you were like 6-7 games under 500. So like,
I was down bad.
Yeah, here you are, man. This is all-time run. No, really though. Like
you got to play. You know,
generational.
You chip away.
Really generational.
You know. Sam's got 108 wins, 52 losses. Harrison has 97 wins and 63, which is still, as we mentioned, and you guys made me highlight last week, he's above 500. He's still doing his thing, but he's behind us.
I'll have a whole different approach next year. I'm going to go back, look at the tape. Mistakes were made.
They were. It's okay. You might have time to make up. But this week is going to kind of be a little bit harder because there's 6 teams on a bye. We have the Falcons, Bills, Bengals, Jags, Saints, and I know Sam is happy about this, the Jets, says he doesn't have to worry about this week. Thursday night football, we have the Steelers at the Browns. We all have the Steelers. Sunday, we have Bucks at Giants. We all have the Bucks, but we should probably be going for the Italian Stallion. But, you know, it's whatever. Chiefs at Panthers. We all have the Chiefs. Cowboys at Commanders. We definitely have the Cowboys. By the way, you know who are the 2 quarterbacks for Thanksgiving?
Is it Cooper Rush and Tommy DeVito?
Danny DeVito's gonna be there too. But yes, both of them.
Oh my goodness, really? Is it
Great
Cowboys
times.
Giants?
Yes, it's terrible. So get ready for that.
The Thanksgiving slate is not good.
No, it's not
good at all. Yeah.
It's not at all. So I'll just be worried about my food because that's probably what I was going to pay attention to more anyway. Lions at Colts. Lions. I would not be surprised if this is somehow some way a trap game. I'm just going to say this.
Definitely.
Would not be surprised. Patriots at Dolphins. We all went Dolphins, but this is another game that's just like I don't really care about, but I would not be surprised if somehow some way the Patriots won this game too.
Dolphins rank 8th in points over the past 4 weeks after ranking 31st while missing Tua. So like we all thought going in, we all were high on the Dolphins, and I said they had a tough schedule, and you all kind of agreed kind of the back end of their schedule was difficult, but missing Tua really threw them for a loop backwards. But now that they have him, they are a pretty good team. So don't sleep on the Dolphins.
That's fair. I'm sleeping on the Texans. I'm lying. I'm sleeping on the Titans because they suck. Titans at Texans. We all have the Texans. Vikings at Bears. We all have the Vikings. I was hesitant to put the Bears. I'm not going to lie, especially how Caleb looked last week.
Shout out to their new OC, throwing some short passes, some easy outs for Caleb. It looked much different.
Letting Caleb use his legs, that type of thing. That's a part of his game, highlighting his attributes. Broncos at Raiders. Broncos we all have. Niners at Packers. We all have Packers. I was for sure thinking somebody was going to pick the Niners. Cardinals at Seahawks. I have the Water Birds, and you both have the Red Birds.
Do Seahawks go in the water?
I don't think so, but I just went with the sea part. So I was sea, water, so Water Bird. Okay. You both have the Red Birds. So I have the Seahawks because they're at home. Sure. And I don't want to sleep on the Seahawks home field advantage because it's one of the best in the league, and it's one of the loudest. So and they also are a solid team in themselves. But I could easily see the Cardinals winning this game as well, too, because they've been on a hot streak. But I think it's just going to be hard going up there in Seattle.
Huge divisional game. Cardinals are 6-4. Rams, Seahawks, and 49ers are all 5-5. So massive game.
Who thought we were going to be saying that at the beginning of the season? Harrison did.
I did.
No one else did.
Yeah. Didn't the beginning of the season, didn't Harrison say that the Steelers are going to be a playoff team?
I said they'd win the division.
I think you did say that. I was thinking about it the other day, and I was just like, I think Harrison said they were going to win a division, and you're looking pretty spot on. If only that counted towards your picks during the week.
Can I get like a plus 10 for every divisional pick? Damn it.
No, but we can go at the end. We can go back, which we should do. We should, after the Super Bowl, go back and evaluate our picks and see what we got.
I picked the Bengals to win the Super Bowl, so
there you go.
I could win the regular season all you want, guys. That's
true. This is true. We just talked about this earlier. This is very, very true. Sunday night game. Go Birds. Eagles at Rams. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You should be nervous.
Yeah, I'm not. Okay. But it could get out of hand one way or the other. It could.
That's what I'm gonna do.
You're going to go, okay. See, This is, you might as well just keep this going because the Eagles keep winning every time you do this. So please just do that.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Philadelphia.
Yes, Philadelphia rejoice. Ravens at Chargers. Both Sam and I have the Ravens and Harrison has the Chargers. Are you doing that just because you're trying to get your wins up or because you genuinely think that they could actually win?
Both. I like the run that the Chargers are on. I don't like the run they're on, but the Ravens are still a better team and more dangerous. But home team off a four-game winning streak, I feel like it's a good shot to take to get
Ravens across the country. I bounce back and forth on this too. I was
same.
Yeah.
I was just curious because I looked at this and I said, Chargers have been hot too. So and Herbert's been balling. So
it'll be a good
like
game.
I said, they also have the number one defense. So.
I think both teams also are like kind of collapse a little bit in the second half. So it's like, damn, like which one is going to collapse?
Who's going to choke more? Yeah, who's going to choke more? Speaking of choking, this team is doing the opposite of that because they're 15-0, and that's the Cavs. They are absolutely tearing through the league. It popped up as a banner notification the other day and says Cavs are 15-0. And I said, oh, thanks for letting me know this. They are still out here balling. They face the Celtics Tuesday night, and it's an NBA Cup game. They're the number one offense. And what is that? Number 7 in pace? Got you.
Yeah, so I mean, I talked about them last week, and they were 12-0, and they've since won 3 more games. And I feel like I have to keep talking about them because 15-0. Like, when do you see that? That's
Yes,
like,
true.
But yeah, Brian Windhorst wrote a nice piece on ESPN today about the Cavs and Kenny Atkinson. Yep, Brian Windhorst. Yep. So yeah, they've had a talented offense. I think last year they were about 16th in pace and they were much slower, but now they're kind of going full out fast breaks, a lot of threes. Kenny Atkinson spent the last 3 years on the Warriors, and Draymond Green paid them a huge compliment in saying, I really like that team. They remind me of the Warriors of old. So they're just rolling, man. They got Mobley playing kind of a Draymond Green role. He's averaging his career high, facilitating the offense, leading the league in defensive rebounds. They're just hitting threes at a high clip without even Max Strus, who was their best three-point shooter last year. And I really, really like this team, and I really enjoy watching them. So if you haven't had a chance yet, you should really go watch the Cavaliers because they play such good basketball.
Well, I'll be watching them Tuesday against the Celtics. So this will be my first glimpse of them because I really haven't been paying attention to any basketball as of yet. I know we've talked about that.
Start with the Cavs.
That's why I'm going to start with that one because I will not be watching my Nets as long as Ben Simmons still gets playing time on the court because he still refuses to shoot. The Nets should just pay Ben Simmons to not come to the arena. Because it is a travesty.
I watched too much of that game on Saturday.
Yeah,
night.
well, you got to see him back to
Friday
back,
night, whatever it was.
against the Knicks.
Yeah.
So not great. But what is great is one of the greatest shows that we've got to watch and grow up and watch. That's Inside the NBA, and it will not die. It will continue. Inside the NBA to appear on ESPN, ABC next season, which makes perfect sense is because they've essentially started to work together anyway and show up on there. So it made perfect sense. But thank you to ESPN and ABC for doing the right thing and saving this landmark of a show that is absolutely comical and well worth it for sure. TNT, you can kick rocks for not bringing this on.
TNT is still producing it, so I won't give ESPN and the NBA too much credit because it did come from a settlement. So there was a lawsuit by TNT. So TNT will run it, and ESPN and ABC will syndicate it, and we get to keep those guys in our lives still because it is the best show on TV as far as kind of pregame, postgame coverage. The show the Champions League runs on CBS for soccer is creeping up. That show is awesome. If you guys haven't watched it, please do. That their lineup is amazing. But yeah, just happy to have this continuing. TNT also got rights for House of Highlights, Bleacher Report, and their third kind of social media channel to have all the rights to kind of show any social media clips for the NBA for the next 10 years. So
that's dope.
Yeah. The NBA, Adam Silver continues to kind of bring things together to promote the league in a good light, and having Inside the NBA and all of those social media platforms still a part of the fold, even though we're making the switch is awesome.
Shout out to Baldy McFresh. He's out here just always moving the needle. I appreciate him.
He really is.
He really is that guy.
Commissioner in sports.
That guy.
Yeah.
Also another guy that is that guy. He's the beard. Don't ever look at him. He's always should keep the beard on. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But James Harden has passed Ray Allen for number 2 all time on the 3-point list, which is wild to think about.
Wild.
Because Ray Allen is up there. And we know who's above Ray Allen, for sure. But and above, so the fact that he's creeping up on that list.
Well, he won't catch Steph, but
we know that. that
he won't catch Steph. But as I just wanted to put it on here is like I'm not the biggest James Harden fan. Like I never enjoyed really watching, him on the Rockets and how they played. And it was just so 3-ball centric with Mike D'Antoni. And it just wasn't an enjoyable watch as a basketball fan. But I just wanted to put it on here to kind of give some flowers. I mean, number 2 on the all-time 3-point list is crazy to think about when you think of James Harden. You really don't think of the threes. You think of the ISO ball and the Euro steps and just scoring it at a ridiculous clip. But Yeah, number 2 on the 3-point all-time list is massive, and congrats to him.
Good stuff.
Not a lot of James Harden fan. I never met a James Harden. I've never met one. I don't.
So I mean, I respect James Harden for the essential highlighting of the step back, the way that it's done, the in and out to the drop, the 2-step drop back. I know that's a big part of the game now for the younger kids, and it's just kind of been adapted and highlighted by him, I would say. So that part is cool. Also, I mean, him in the Euro, I know Ginobili is the first one I think of, but he's definitely up there. He's probably like 2 or 3 that I think of when it comes to the Euro, because he was Euroing through the lane, even though he was pleading for fouls all the time. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a James Harden fan at all, but I'm not going to also water it down. I mean, this guy was averaging triple doubles left and right. He's definitely a future Hall of Famer. So shout outs to him. I just don't. It is what it is. Real quick, Juan Soto met with the Mets. Meet the Mets. Greet the Mets. Bring the kitties. Bring the pets. And he also met with the Red Sox, which it came out saying that the Red Sox wowed him. Which I know is a shot at the Yankees, basically saying, I went to your rival. Look at me. Pay me. He will have spoken to the Yankees today at some point. And that should be interesting. I'm curious to hear what comes out of that. Sam, real quick, what are your thoughts on all of this at this point in time? Do you think which way, do you have a way that you think it's leaning towards right now, or no?
I don't know. I think the posturing from, I mean, Scott Boras knows how to get the Yankees' attention. He has a really good relationship with the Yankees front office. So, you're going to, if you're Juan Soto and again, Scott Boras, you're going to take a meeting with everyone that wants to see you except for the Rays. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he actually is going to take a meeting with the Rays, but I know they were, quote, interested. But yeah, I don't know what to think. Hopefully, I'm optimistic. If this is the last meeting, if like I don't know if he's met with the Dodgers. I heard that was like they were interested. Everyone should be interested in Juan Soto. He's that type of talent, and he's 26 years old. And I hope the Yankees just have a good offer. I think it's good that they're meeting last. If it is last, like, okay, beat this. I think it was like Carlos Baerga or someone said that the Mets offer was like $660 million or something like that. So that's something. But I hope the Yankees did something with not signing Yamamoto, that they didn't want to pay him more than Cole, and I get that. And especially being an unproven talent, even though I like Yoshinobu Yamamoto, but like, I hope they don't do this with Aaron Judge, because Aaron Judge, again, MVP, had a great season, future Hall of Famer if he's on this trajectory. He's 32 years old. Juan Soto is, by those standards, not even entering his prime, and he's one of the best hitters of this generation. So I hope we just pay the man. But there's a lot of needs on this team. Yep. I know this is baseball corner has turned into Yankee corner here, but here we are. And, I think they'll have a competitive offer, and we'll see.
Okay. Real quick, got a couple Do You Cares. A UFC 309. I'm just going to ask you both, did either of you watch it? I'm going to say the answer is no. I know Harrison definitely didn't watch it.
I watched it.
You did, Salmon?
I did.
Okay, so
Salmon?
I didn't
My name's Salmon?
Yeah, Salmon. Salmon. I didn't get to watch it because for some reason the link didn't work for me while I was in the hotel, but I caught it when John Jones was talking at the end. I got to see the highlights. I will watch it this week, maybe even later this evening or later when I watch it.
You're going to watch it at some point.
Maybe. I don't know. But what I'll do is I saw the back kick. John Jones is just the man. There's just no doubt in my mind. He's the best UFC fighter that I've ever seen in my life. But yeah. it's just good. What'd you think of it?
John Jones is the man. I thought it was certainly a better fight than Friday. In all aspects there, I could, it was good. I enjoyed myself for not really knowing what the hell was going on, because I'm not like the biggest fan, but I certainly know who a lot of the guys who fought yesterday were, and I certainly know the legacy that John Jones has. So,
fair.
Yeah.
WNBA draft. Dallas Wings, first overall pick.
Yep.
LA Sparks, number 2. Chicago Sky, 3. Washington Mystic, 4. Do you care, gentlemen?
Yeah, absolutely. I was a little disappointed. I wanted to see the Sparks get it and get Cameron Brink and Paige together. But now, obviously, Paige is the unanimous number 1 pick, and she's going to go to a team that just fired their coach. They were very bad last year. They ran a very, very bad offense. But, Paige will change that all around, and, her teamed up with Enrique will be really cool. The other teams, while there is some good talent coming out this year, the prize was Paige. So, for the Wings to win that, happy for them.
If Juju can go into the draft,
she cannot.
She?
No.
Oh, she's got one more year.
The WNBA is different. You have to be 22 or graduated.
Oh, okay. So
I think
right. So never mind. It's Juju I was thinking of. Yep.
I think Juju's one. It might be one more if she can graduate early.
Okay.
But yeah, she will obviously be the unanimous number 1 whenever she's able to come out.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Do you care? Beyonce's performing for the Ravens Texans Netflix Christmas game.
I care. I love Beyonce.
Okay.
Yeah, Beyonce. Not upsetting the beehive here, man. I just think it's like good for the NFL Netflix. I mean, we can, make fun of Netflix for all this. They got 60 million people to watch that event on Friday night. They have done a couple live things throughout the year, the Tom Brady roast and some other stuff, and now they're going to have 2 Christmas games per year, I think, for the next couple of years. And Christmas is, to a lot of sports fans, it's basketball day, and here is Netflix and the NFL just trying to make a mark here, and kudos there. Like, that's
hopefully they fix their streaming issue.
Yeah, they got.
There'll be a lot of people watching.
That's going to be a lot more angry people than not being able to see an old man get beat up by a YouTube guy. So
yeah, they got a lot of work to do, because you really don't want the beehive on your neck.
Yeah. No, you do not.
NFL and Netflix.
Yeah. You guys probably should get that straightened up. Hopefully, they went back to the drawing board after we just watched the circus. Sam, with that said, can you close us out, good sir?
Yes, sir. 152 in the books. Thanks so much for listening. So for Brandon and Harrison, I'm Sam. And till next time, peace.